hey, I'm going to try not to get sidetracked. Look, this is a good little content here because I have had several questions about the painting that I have completed like 99.5%. This is a portrait of a young Douglas Fairbanks, senior. He was a major superstar, silent film star, and he was part of the Hollywood power couple, Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. They owned Pickfair, the social place to be. If you were invited to Pickfair, you had arrived in Hollywood. And they were like, I know I talk in 90s and 80s terms, but they were like the Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise of that period. They were like the Hollywood couple. Oh, look what they're doing. So this is from a famous photograph. Let me tell you how I came to be commissioned. I have a dear friend who is a talented interior designer, and he is also an artist, and he and I have worked together many times through the years. It's always like going home. You know, you got those old friends that really mattered. And anyway, so he said he's doing a public space in a grand high-rise apartment building soon to open on Santa Monica Boulevard, and it's called the Fairbanks after Doug Fairbanks. So he said, would you do a big portrait of Doug? And I said, I will do a big portrait of Doug. But then, nitpicky. You know what? This is a great and iconic image. But as far as like, if you were trying to paint a portrait, you would probably want like a little more crispness. I always say, I really prefer to see I would like to see the pupils. If I could see the pupils in their eyes, I can get a good likeness out of it. If not, it's just going to be a just globby arrangement of shadows and highlights. Okay. So anyway, I thought it wouldn't be, because one of the designers on the gig, because there are two, and said, you know, it really needs, can he paint it so that it's really dynamic and just, you know, and of course Pete said, oh yes, he can, because he knew that I could. So I wanted it to scream. I wanted it to be projected off the wall into your heart. And that's why I jumped the gun, did not talk to the, I did say, can we get together and talk about colors? Yeah, let's do that. And it got put off, as it often does. It's my fault, because I wanted to get to work. And I knew that I was going to do the likeness. So let's get the likeness laid out. Okay, now let's go into the likeness and really look at it and decide what we're going to do to make it dynamic. And I decided before I had even moved into the character, the subject, that I don't know, it just hit me. How about a wall of fire viewed through a grill of Arabic wrought iron? Would that work? Because I wanted this black and white picture to sizzle. I wanted it to sweat. I wanted it to come off the page. Well, I did that, and it just didn't, it was beautiful. I did a really good job of it. I impressed myself with my skill on the wrought iron, but I had only recently highly criticized a portrait that was done recently in my world that I found to be way too busy and way too filled with information to be a successful portrait. And I turned around and kind of did the same thing, thinking that I was holding back. I was thinking about that portrait where every book on the bookshelf, every word, it's legible, every letter, down to the copyright, just like, because, you know, a painting must be bigger than the sum of its parts. It must be. Some people only see the sum of their parts. Anyway, this is the painting as it will be, and I'm going to tell you what, that it does have another step or two. This is antiquing glaze. I've been asked about this. Oh, wait, first, let me tell you this, 4 minutes in. I'm not claiming uniquity. I'm saying this so if you ever get your hands on it, fellow artists, try it. Here in Hollywood, in the film studios, most film studios always use Mann Brothers. Here we go. I want to show you a bucket of this stuff. You get it by the gallon, okay? It's a one-coat acrylic coating in lush colors that an artist will have in his or her palette. Like this burnt sienna. This is the color I primed the whole canvas in this deep burnt sienna because it's the base of all flesh. Black, white. Yeah, it's just really good for flesh. You can completely almost obliterate it. It comes through as flesh. Anyway, the other one. This is Power Baby. Man Brothers Verabond Burnt Umber. Now, here's two that are magic, and I'm not going to say much else about this color. I'm just going to tell you. So, this is a very dense and opaque medium. This, like I said, it's latex. It's like house paint. I use it on larger pieces because I don't think it would work as well on teeny tiny. Sometimes if I need a color and I only have a little bit of that color in this, I'll use it. But this is for larger pieces. And I don't know. I've just learned to work. At first, it's like, oh, this is kind of gritty. And it's like, but once you get the hand for it, it looks a lot like oil paint when you use the right colors. The density of the colors, it's just magnificent. And then once you get it done, then you can glaze the hell out of it and kill it down if you want to. Now, we want this to kind of look like when somebody first sees it and doesn't even think about it, that they actually think it's an original painting from 1924. I haven't forged anything. It's signed Sammy Beam 24 down there. It's not very obtrusive because I've learned that that's just repulsive when an artist goes zoop, 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 and then the one that really used to get me when I was like a young adult was when they would put a little shitty copyright circle on it. Like, honey, do you really think somebody's going to want to copy that? I mean, just plain. Anyway, this is Doug, and this is me, and I've told you about the paint. And now I have to make it look like it's 100 years old and like it spent several years in a smoky gentleman's club or bar room or an office at Paramount Studios. It's going to have some nicotine, which is fun. So, these two secrets. I will do sheer glazes. I use Floetrol, Flood for latex and acrylic. Latex paint, acrylic paint, and acrylic markers, they all work well. They're blood kin, right? Pretty much latex and acrylic are the same paint. They're both water soluble. They're both easy. Anyway, they're interchangeable. I often, when I'm using these, like on this painting, when I got down to, I love these. These make me so happy. These little concentrated Liquitex colors, they're really about all I ever use. The thing is, when I paint like this with what I already have in stock, the Verabond from Man Brothers, I've only used little bits of this here and there. Just the last highlight on his flesh, I used straight out of a container of light portrait paint. I'll tell you something too. I've grown fond of just choosing the colors I'm gonna work with and just going with it, whether it's kind of realistic or not. Because if I was just really going for realism, this would be a bummer, wouldn't it? I might as well sign Olan Mills. But you know what would be really funny? My daddy would really like it if I would put him in like just a short sleeve Dacron polyester dress shirt. Just short sleeves, flapping. It would look good. Oh, and some red and gold loafers. That'd be good. The loafers with the little chain going across them, that would look good. Anyway, I'm just being silly. I'm 9 minutes into this. I'm going to let y'all go. I just wanted to answer your questions and tell you what I'm doing. So, wait a minute. I got 10 minutes. Okay. Listen. So I'm going to put a darkening antiquing glaze that is a very sheer coating of a mixture of brown and black. Very sheer. It just kind of marries everything together. It almost is the effect of looking through glass. It's just kind of marries everything together and it ages it somewhat. Now, you can go real heavy if you want, but I'm going to just go very lightly here because sometimes, you know, you can overdo it. I know I've had a client who was like, you ruined it, you put too much glaze on. And I'm like, I just stood here and told you I was happy with it the way it was, and you said put one more coat on it, and I put the coat on it, and this is what we're doing. But that's okay, because you're a professional, and you go back and you scrub the shit out of it, and you get that all off. And any little residual piece that's left just became part of your artist's hand. Anyway, just talking trade, folks, just shop talk here in my studio. So the other glaze is nicotine. And what I found is that the best nicotine glaze is made of raw sienna in some sort of agent. So it's Floetrol and raw sienna. Not, when you see it in the cup, it looks much bolder than it does when it goes on. And it just adds this slightly, because nicotine has got a dirty butterscotchy thing to it. I never knew this until I bought a can of studio paint at at the studio paint store, and it was just called nicotine. It's just like studio paint, spray paint, and I used it on a statue that I was, and it was like, this is marvelous, but it's kind of like an icky kind of dull butterscotch color. It's got a tinge, just a tiny tinge of orange to it. So that's where we go, and maybe next time you see this, it'll be done, but I think I'm gonna wait on it. I'm gonna hold off today, and then tomorrow, approach it anew. I want to discuss it with the designer and see what he thinks, and I want to tell him what I can do and everything, and I will talk to you later. Bye. I hit the wrong button because that's what. Wait. Alexa, what is this song?
This is all I ask of you. The Phantom of the Opera by Roger Williams.
Oh, okay. It's from the Phantom of the Opera, but it's just that it's not the whole big. But it will be. So I'm gonna go. Bye.